Report.
Everything's status quo, sir.
Very well. If anyone needs me, I'll be in my ready room.
Hello, and welcome to the Readier Room, the only and longest-running Star Trek The Next Generation rewatch podcast hosted by people who worked on Star Trek The Next Generation every week when we're rewatching that show that I just mentioned. My name is Mitchell Mells, Chief Consultant Services at Paramount. With me is my life partner, Brandon Hobbs, and today we're going to crack down on another episode of Star Trek Next Generation. Isn't that right?
That is right. We should also mention up front that it's Valentine's Day.
It is.
Valentine's Day. It's a big deal for a little polycule.
I'm going to do this live on the air. Will you be my Valentine?
Of course, Mitch.
Yes. Good. I'm glad you said that, because it would have made returning all these gifts very awkward.
So, what'd you get me?
Oh, you know, couple of candy bars, a water pick, and some other things that I don't think it's fine to say on the air, but needless to say, it was a very productive trip to CVS.
This episode is sponsored by Bad Dragon.
Yeah. For all your wanton, degenerate needs, only the baddest can shop at Bad Dragon.
That's right.
That's right.
We're
yeah.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say we delayed the episode by a day to have it on Valentine's Day, to have a Valentine's special.
Right. Exactly. Yes. I was actually gonna say just that, and we're recording a little bit early because we got a hot date later.
That's right. We're all we prepared earlier. I'm already all lubed up and ready to go, but got to bang this one out first, and then the night is ours.
Yeah. I haven't eaten in about 3 days, so this should go well.
There's more effective ways to prepare oneself, but I appreciate the dedication.
Yeah, I mean, it's valid. It's a special occasion.
You know, I've always said that the delirium of starving kind of increases the sexual feeling one gets. You know?
Oh, it certainly does. Yeah. It's a lot more intense.
You pass out in the middle of it, wake up again, you don't know where you are.
Yeah. And you're so hungry that you'll eat just about anything. So
That's right. Up to including
it's an interesting feeling.
A massive, mildly below average dong.
Well, when White Day comes around next month, you can return the favor, Mitch.
That's right. I'm excited to. I'm doing my part on White Day. Wait, no, I bought you presents today. You do your part on White Day. Get out of here.
Oh no.
What are you doing? You're trying to scam me?
Can't believe I was caught.
I'm on to you. You do this every year.
Oh, well.
You son of a bitch.
Sometimes it gets you.
It does. I mean, it's good that you're keeping me on my toes. Proverbially. I'm sitting right now.
So we got... we have an almost appropriate episode for Valentine's Day. There's certainly romance.
Yeah, we're not there yet. You have disrupted the decorum of the Readier Room to do things so wildly out of order. We don't get to this week's episode before answering the question of the week. Have you no respect for tradition?
No, I guess not.
Well, I know that you don't. And I am a little disappointed, but whatever, I'll get into it. Maybe I'll answer this one by myself. Maybe I don't need you. You're clearly above questions of the week.
You know what? Fine.
Yeah, just see, whatever. It's going to be another...
Do what you want.
just like every year, another fucking Valentine's Day fight. Whatever.
Jesus Christ, you always do this.
I always do what? Call you out for forgetting the question
Yes.
of the week?
Yeah, well, it's not that big of a deal, is it?
There's people who are very excited to get their questions answered, and those people...
and they're more important than me. They're more important than me.
Do you subscribe to the Patreon?
Is it okay? Me or them?
Do you subscribe to the Patreon?
It's our Patreon.
Right. So it behooves both of us to keep it going. Don't peg this as a selfish thing. This week's question...
anyone but you.
Yeah, I know. I know, honey. I know. This week's question of the week comes from Mr. Green Jeans 69 on Twitter, who says, "Yo, Admirals." He must be an urban youth.
Yeah, wow.
"I wanted to know why Miles O'Brien was chosen as the character to bridge TNG into DS9. It always struck me as an odd choice. Thanks for answering my... See? You see? Thanks for answering my question, and for bringing us the show every week." Now, I'm a little... the answer to this one might be somewhat underwhelming, but here we go. We wanted to end TNG, right, on a high note. DS9 was starting around the latter end of TNG. But because of that, we couldn't really let any of the real cast go. You can't have TNG without Worf or Riker or Patrick Stewart, whatever, right? Or the women, whoever they are.
You're right.
Right. So we couldn't have a real character go into DS9 because TNG would suffer as a result. So we were sitting around brainstorming, thinking, okay, who is the most replaceable and forgettable member of the extended cast? And it came down to Miles O'Brien or that black ensign from Where Silence Has Lease who died. And his character was already dead. So really it was just Miles O'Brien. And, we brought him along. We ran some tests of this, of course. We showed test audiences a few episodes without Colm, without Miles O'Brien. And they had no idea who was missing. So, yeah, nailed it. Got it perfect. Plus, Gene, when... was Gene somebody? Might have been Rick. No, in fact, I think this was Rick.
It probably was Rick.
Yeah. When we were concepting the show, Rick really, really wanted, an Asian on the show. And, O'Brien has his Asian wife, whatever her name is.
Yeah.
Right.
Chico,
right. Chico O'Brien. And, it's just...
Yeah, you kind of killed two birds with one stone there.
Exactly. It was a very economic decision. And of course, Colm was used to working for peanuts because he just has 0 star power, so it was very cheap as well.
More like potatoes.
Imagine an entire country brought to its knees because it doesn't have potatoes.
This almost happened in Japan, Mitch. What with the great potato shortage, you can only buy small potato fries.
That's right. Only
from McDonald's.
Yeah, and Japan similarly was devastated. In the aftershocks of that.
The economy just stopped.
Remember when that big freighter got turned sideways?
Is this the one that dropped all the Goku action figures?
Perhaps it is. But I remember this story about a very unpopular live streamer who had a feces kind of go sideways inside of his rectum, very much the same way as that ship. And he needed somebody else to break it up for him. Which,
like, go in there and...
Yeah, and just kind of like finger it in twain. Rend it asunder.
Wow. Oh, wow, that's nuts.
Right. And it's a very similar story to that freighter. The economic impact that the streamers event had on the world was much, much smaller. But
Right.
Similar in theme, if not in scope.
This is what you get with the Readier Room nowadays. This is the direction we're heading.
And if you don't like it, you can get out
Yeah, that's right.
of the
This
Readier
is
Room.
now a Fishies podcast.
Yeah, we're coprophiles.
Like the guy who like sits in that bodysuit in people's septic tanks.
Yeah, perhaps the only legitimate coprophile on the internet in the world.
Yeah. He seems like he's the only one who does it too. It's always him when I see footage of that stuff.
Isn't it always the same video?
No, I think he's got a few out there.
Imagine, you're born, you're a camera, you don't know what you're gonna take pictures of, video of, and that's what you end up doing.
Yeah. I guess I'm glad I wasn't born a camera.
Right. I'm just amazed that guy's not dead.
I know. Like, doesn't it get into, like, because he has, like, holes cut out for his mouth and stuff?
In his eyes.
Yeah, doesn't that... I don't even want to know.
Does he submerge his head?
I would guess he doesn't, but what if he slips or something?
Oh God, what if the plane tilts? There's a very evocative picture of like what I imagine this guy. I don't know anything about him, but if you were to ask me what his life probably is, I would say successful European businessman making six figures who's single and uses all of his time to explore degeneracy. His time and his money.
Yeah, I mean that's a fair guess, I think. Because he has to pay people to go sit in their septic tanks, right? So
that would be quite the caper otherwise. To break and enter into someone's septic tank.
Do you think anyone would notice?
No, I mean, I don't like. How aware are you of the septic tanks within your general vicinity?
Right, exactly. So it's like someone could just be hanging out in there.
You never know. You remember that case of that woman who was murdered in a hotel, and they found her inside of like the water storage tank? And
yeah. I'm intimately familiar.
Yeah, I know you're such a true crime guy. But
No.
Are you more of a fake crime guy? False crime?
I've just taken a particular shine to this case, that's all.
All right. Well, nobody knew she was in a water tank for some amount of time, and
right.
What they should have done is hit her in a septic tank, because you want to know what's going to cover the stench of a dead body?
A bunch of shit.
Yeah.
Right. Wow. That's a good point. Wow. Yeah, you got to be really dumb to. But I mean, they still never caught anyone, so.
That's true.
I guess they were smart.
Eggs on our face.
Yeah.
Well, good for them.
It is pretty disgusting that like people were drinking her rotting body, though.
Yeah. You drink tap water, you get what you paid for.
I suppose so. I only drink Fiji.
Fiji's good. It comes in that rectangular prism bottle.
Yeah, it's got that like little mountain picture.
Did I ever tell you about the time that I ate and drank nothing but tap water for a week?
No.
Well, this was back in the day in university. I did what I just said, and I had to go to the hospital.
Really?
I woke up in the middle of the night with very, very intense and acute pain in my stomach.
Huh. That's interesting.
Yeah, so I had to go to the hospital. I rode in an ambulance for the first and only time in my life. It was exciting.
That's so weird, though, because people do water fasts. I mean...
Yeah, but tap water, I imagine, was the thing. And this was in a university dorm, which probably didn't have the best quality.
Huh. I can't figure out why... Well, but I mean, like, you would... If you were eating normally, you would be drinking tap water and just eating food, right? Or did you not drink the tap water before?
No, I didn't drink the tap water before.
Oh, okay. All right. That makes sense.
Yeah. So after that, I went and just lived primarily off of microwavable food.
Yes. And now
And
we
this
have
year,
Uber
Paul?
Eats.
That's right. And
Bald man Microsoft.
it's never been better to be a helpless degenerate.
Yeah, it's true. It's really, I mean, it's hard to avoid the temptation to just order food all the time. I dare say it's impossible.
I don't think I've ever managed to say no to one of those urges. It's 11 o'clock at night, you're settling down to sleep, and 10 minutes later, you're just eating 20 chicken nuggets.
Yeah, oh yeah. I gotta say though, I was telling you off mic, I had the crunchy double from McDonald's, and I don't think chicken nuggets do it for me anymore.
Can you explain to the audience at home what a crunchy double is?
Yeah, it's a double cheeseburger, and you put nuggets on the bottom of it. Put the bottom part of the sandwich, the bread, on, and it's just a burger with chicken nuggets on it.
Yeah, it doesn't sound
good.
And
barbecue sauce. You put the barbecue sauce on too.
Yeah. I ever tell you
it's okay.
How I prefer to eat chicken nuggets?
Do you pick the skin off?
Well, I slowly eat the breading, only the breading, until
okay, keep going.
Until I'm left with a white piece of nondescript chicken meat, which I then dunk in whatever my accompanying sauce is.
So weird.
It's purer. You get a more juicy little chicken blob to suck.
The one thing I can say about that is that at least you get to spend more time enjoying the food.
Well, that's a big plus of it too. And whereas we've all been there. You don't even bite the chicken nugget. You just kind of drop it in your mouth and let it slither down.
Swallow it. Yeah. Do you do this in public?
No, I don't do it in public.
Oh, okay.
But granted, can't recall the last time I ate chicken nuggets in public.
Yeah, that is kind of embarrassing.
Yeah. And it's like, who's going to get, I'm going to eat fast food at the restaurant? Like, what? Yeah,
I mean,
you just go to McDonald's with your laptop and
Well, no. I mean, like after a night out, if you've been out all night, then that's a good time to do that.
Yeah, to be fair, if that was the case, I would eat them in my traditional style because I would probably be too hungover to give a shit.
Right. Or like if you're preparing to go out, you might hit up McDonald's.
I
grab
guess.
a seat, shove some food down your throat.
Sit there with the boys,
Yeah.
Eat some sloppy steaks.
Play with your Happy Meal toys.
Make a very loud noise in your revelry.
Let's go up to the counter and complain that we got duplicates. I wanted this toy.
Hit on the manager.
The mail manager.
Manages the mails.
There was a commercial. I think it was literally just the U.S. Postal Service commercial, and it would always begin with this woman saying, "This is a story about mail," and my brain is so fried that every time I heard it, I thought she was going to say, "This is a story about male privilege."
You need serious help.
I know. I need to see a therapist ASAP.
ASAP Rocky.
Yeah, oh man, come on. Yes. All right, let's talk about Star Trek.
Oh god, we've been together for too long.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I know you knew who ASAP Rocky was.
Because of his stupid ass name. Isn't the S like a dollar sign?
Yeah, I think so.
Right.
What happened to him? Isn't he dead?
Oh god, I gotta look it up. ASAP Rocky. He's not dead. Nor does he have a $sign in his name. Wait, no. No, he does. He does, actually. Okay. Wikipedia wrote it both ways. But apparently he's with Rihanna as a partner. So there's that. Do you know that in the partners section of Wikipedia, so in somebody's like bio, their little bio box, it's like who's their partner, but it says partner and then S in parentheses. So very accommodating of polycules like ours.
Yeah, that's nice. That's nice. Is there any word just more disgusting than the word partner?
It depends on if a cowboy's using it or not.
I hate how nondescript it is.
Well, that's the point, isn't it?
Yeah, but it feels like you're lying to me by omission.
Yeah, it does feel like you're up to something, right? You know, it's someone's talking to you. It's like, oh, I went out with my partner the other day, and you kind of like, you know, give them a shrewd look, like, yeah.
It does. It seriously does. It bothers the hell out of me. But whatever. I digress.
Well, we're partners, right?
Well, we're life partners. That's different.
Right. That's true. Which is very. It's the opposite. That's very specific.
Right. Exactly.
Otherwise, it's like, oh, are you robbing a bank together? Do you own a bait and tackle shop together? Or are you fucking? Mm-hmm. Right. Or all three. Right.
It could be all three.
That's right. So this week's episode of Star Trek is called The Vengeance Factor. And it's like episode 8 or 9, season 3. Confession, I've watched this episode somehow like 4 times over the past year.
That's crazy.
It's never intentional, and I can tell you exactly how this happens. One, it's in season 3, and whenever I want to watch an episode of TNG for fun, generally it's going to be from season 3. 2, the title is not exactly it's not very exact. You know, you could fit that onto many stories. So I'm not exactly sure what episode it is when I see the title. And the preview image on Netflix is just Riker sitting in a chair. So that also doesn't help me. So I'm like, oh, The Vengeance Factor, what's this? And I start it up, and I get like 5 minutes into it, and I'm like, oh, it's this one.
Right. You must be sick of this episode.
Yeah. Yeah, I am. I putting that aside, like, not just that I'm tired of it, but I also don't think that this episode is all that strong. It's just a lot of like old fat people shouting at each other.
Yeah, and not very well directed in terms of the actors. It feels like they were all kind of given this weird direction to go, and it doesn't work. It's really, really cheesy in like a bad way.
Yeah, both from the guest actors and the main cast.
Yeah. And this episode has a cool plot of, you know, like the aide to the ruler is secretly killing people.
Right.
I like that. I wish there was less dramatic irony. I wish we didn't know that immediately. I wish there was a little mystery to this.
Yeah, because
Riker figures it out.
Most of the episode, rather, is characters trying to solve this little mystery.
Right.
And you're just sitting there like, all right, it's Utah.
Yeah, well, when are they going to figure it out? And and other than that, it's people sitting down and talking at each other.
People we don't know.
The meetings between what's
Marook?
her name? Marook and you know, the scavengers?
The gatherers.
They're so superficial and sophomoric in their dialogue that it's so boring.
It is.
This is not how negotiations ever go. and the funniest thing to me is that, like, near the end, when you had Marook and Chorgan, I think his name was.
Yeah.
And, you know, one of them would start freaking out and stand up and bash their fists on the table. And literally it was always just solved like 3 times. It was solved by Picard like calmly looking at Marook and saying, "Well, why don't you try to rethink this?" And then she says, "You're right, Captain."
Well, they note in dialogue that he's very persuasive.
That's the thing, yeah. And it's like they couldn't find an actual way to make Picard a good negotiator. At least not this time. Because he has been a good negotiator before.
Right. And he only ever consoles the one side. He never has to talk down Shorgan.
Right.
Going back to the dramatic irony thing, I just want to point out that it's never used in a way that actually creates tension. For example, if you know that Yuta's the killer, having her like hovering around Shorgan and stops incidentally at the last second, where you might be like, oh, whoa, is she gonna touch him? Oh. Instead, just nothing happens, and this is all in service of one scene where she kills one old guy in a very not visually interesting way.
No, yeah, pretty much. And this is one of those things that you expect her killing this guy to set off some kind of greater conflict where the gatherers feel betrayed or something. They're suspicious of Marook's people or something, or the Federation or something like that. But everyone's just like, oh, okay.
Yeah, let me get his stuff. I don't know. I want to point out that the method of murder, of like her touching someone and them just dying, was more of a result of a scaled back special effects budget than anything else.
Yeah.
Because obviously you see that, and it's just very, it's an economic decision. It's like, oh, we can't have somebody injured or some special effects for some kind of beam or gas or whatever. Just touch him. And sometimes that's how television's made.
Yeah. Unfortunately. So not really much to do here, but to just go right through the episode. I think there's not really a whole lot of there's no moral question really. There's nothing deeper.
No.
At least I don't think there is, but we'll find out, I guess. So the episode opens. Did they get like a distress call or something?
I think they just instantly beam into the location, presumably because there's a distress call, but it doesn't show the Enterprise receiving it.
Right.
So they beam into this space station that's very, very green lit.
Very green.
Yeah, we used our green budget for the season on this one scene. But when you look at how green it is, it's pretty worth it.
Yeah, I suppose so. I think there were some later episodes of the season that would have benefited from some more green. So it's a shame that we kind of went overboard here, but it's not the end of the world, and I think it kind of gave us a nice effect. Yeah,
and it led to that triumphant return of green in season 4 once we stocked the budget.
Yeah, we got lots of mail about that. Yeah, actually. So you leave people wanting for a while, and kind of hypes them up.
Now it's the same studio, by the way. This wouldn't be for like another decade, so it's just an incidental anecdote. But I remember how they like kind of really held back. They budgeted the green that they would give to people in effort to produce the Green Mile, which needed a ton of green.
That's right. Yeah. The green economy at the time was a little wacky.
Oh yes. But this scene itself, what did they even do? They go and they rescue some people who are they were attacked by raiders, the gatherers.
The gatherers, yeah, and this kind of gets glossed over. You never see these scare quotes characters again.
These two bodies.
Yeah, they find blood that's not human, right? On the ship, Crusher finds blood that's not human. Also, have to say, Crusher is looking pretty fine this episode.
Oh yeah. She doesn't play a
She
central
is-
role, but she's good.
It's incredible how much more attractive she is than Marina. Just how much more shapely her body is, like everything.
I think a lot of it has to do with height.
Yeah, I think so too.
And
Um,
Crusher just has more to work with.
Yeah.
But
So-
there's a moment in this scene
Oh,
where they're trapped behind a door, and Riker sends Worf to open it instead of Data. And I'm like, are we just trying to make Worf feel wanted?
yeah, that was weird.
Oh, he's super strong, kinda.
Like even Data's stronger than him. Data would have so many options. He could like interface like R2D2 or something.
He walks up.
Yep. He can do that really fast moving hands thing that he did in season 1. That really cool effect.
He can lift up something as if it's just made of styrofoam.
Right. Curiously making it look like it's made of styrofoam in the process. So, yeah, so they bring these two I think they're Federation people.
Yes.
They bring them to the I can't talk today.
We do a podcast.
I was like they bring them to the safe room, to the
medical bay.
The med deck, the med bay, yeah. Okay, yeah, they bring them there, and then it's kind of like almost like they figure out that it's the Gatherers, right?
Yeah, the blood.
Pretty quickly.
The blood is Acamarian blood.
Yeah, so it cuts pretty jarringly, right? To Picard meeting with Marook.
Yeah, that is weird. I didn't really notice that, but it's basically, this is the work of the Gatherers. Smash cut Picard's meeting with the Acamarian leader.
These aliens we've never been introduced to. We know them, I guess.
It's like, is this an Acamarian or is this just a human with blue shit on its face?
Yeah, that's another thing. We're very uninspired design, but I guess you needed to keep them kind of human looking for this episode to work in terms of Riker, unless I
mean, has there ever been like overtly alien romance?
There has to have been.
Like not just someone with green skin, but
there's Worf.
Worf hadn't had a romance up till that point yet.
Oh. I thought you meant like in general, like even after this.
Well, I know after this, Worf and I was gonna say Marina Sirtis, Worf and Troy.
Marina Sirtis has some kind of weird parasocial relationship with Worf, the character.
The makeup stays on.
Yeah. So it's at this point that we learn two things. The first is that Nancy, who is playing the part of Marook, is terrible at it.
To be honest, she's bad, but she didn't even register as like one of the bottom 3 performances in this episode to me.
Really?
Yeah.
Because she's not even. A lot of people don't know that she's not even an actress.
Right. Which you can only fault so much, but her only job is really to yell, and she yelled.
No, I was thoroughly dismayed to find that she was not just like a one and done scene character. And that like the second she walked onto the bridge, I was like, oh, that's right, she's in this entire episode.
We should have gone with the original plan to hire an actress.
We should have. We planned to, and I don't know what happened.
Maybe it was a union thing.
One of those things that happens in the production of TV shows,
Right.
Sometimes you plan to hire actresses, and you just end up not.
Sometimes you hire a lunch lady.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, God, she doesn't want to. She doesn't want peace with the gatherers or whatever, right?
Right, because they're savages. And then Picard's
savages.
like, but what if we made peace? And she said,
Yeah.
what if we made peace? And that was it.
Right. Yeah, just talking about this episode makes me want to kill myself.
It's very, very boring too.
It's so bad. I think that's half the reason I can't talk today. I'm just like, I'm so uninterested in it.
Yeah, watching it was. Imagine watching this episode like 4 fucking times. I get 10 minutes in. It's like, well, I've already started eating. I can't just change the episode. So I guess I'm here now.
You got stuff all over your hands.
Right. It's like,
Can't touch the controller.
Why do I always eat buffalo wings when I'm watching Trek? Can't do anything.
It's a nice combination.
Yeah. Maybe in the Trek future, buffaloes have wings.
Maybe they do.
Maybe they do. But they go and meet the gatherers first with a shootout.
No, not yet though, because don't we have those scenes with because they have to go to the system, right? And then like in between that we have that scene with Yuta and Riker and Marook and in her room.
Oh, you're right. This is where we get introduced to more bad performances.
Yeah, and you know, of course, when Riker's around, you know, he has to try to fuck her.
I found that to be very jarring.
It was very weird.
Riker goes in presumably on some official duty to make sure everybody's fine in there, as a diplomat or officer or whatever, and he's like, "Oh, look at this biddy. What if I just
If
I just hit on her?" And
she responds like one of those cool silent anime characters. She doesn't smile. She reciprocates none of his affection at all.
I believe the term would
at
be,
least at this point,
would be cool beauty.
Cool beauty.
Cool beauty.
Is that what they say? Is that what they say in Japan?
It's what they say. It's what they say in Japan.
No, that's what they say.
That's what they say. Now,
Yeah. So
turns out that Yuta,
we got to talk about the food.
yeah, it's because she's the aide, the cook, and the royal taster. Which I think I've said this before on the podcast, but that is a job I would love to have.
Why?
Well, I mean, think about it. You just taste things. I could do that. I'm very good at tasting things.
Why do you think they're tasting things?
Just to, get a little skim off the top, just to preview it.
No, I would definitely not want to have that job because you could just die at any moment.
Yeah, that's upside.
I guess so. But it seems like it would be a slow death. Like poisoning?
Yeah, I mean, if Trek is anything to be believed, you kind of just like gasp out, grab your throat, and then keel over.
Maybe it works differently in Trek. Maybe they've refined poisons, nondescript poisons.
Fast acting Tanakin. So Frakes, he's like, "Oh, you're a chef. What do you like to cook?" And she's like, "I don't like to cook anything. I don't like anything. I'm just a thing." He's like, "Oh, there's got to be something that you like to cook."
Right. He's not fazed at all. He's talking to her like he would talk to any other woman on this show.
This is Riker's game in action. He hits up a random woman. She's like, "Oh, I'm not interested." He's like, "Oh, come on, babe."
He just keeps going.
Right.
He keeps going. It's so funny. I don't know. It's like in this situation, you'd expect him to like change up his strategy at least a little bit, but he doesn't.
Right.
It's so weird.
What's your opinion on Riker's game? Do you think that he is I don't even know how to put it. Do you think that he's capable? He's an alpha guy?
Well, I'm gonna have to black pill you here.
Okay.
Mitch.
Please.
It's all about height, face, and frame.
Frame.
And if you
Frakes.
If you have those 3 things, yeah, see, that's all thanks to his name.
I mean, I don't
if
know.
you have those three things, you can do anything and get away with it.
I don't know how much of a black pill that is. It's like, oh, if you have these traits that are attractive to the opposite sex, people are more accommodating of you. Like, ooh.
Well, people on the internet consider that a black pill.
Oh, I see. That's
right.
That's a very bold take, I'm sure.
Yeah. So I guess what I'm saying is Riker doesn't need a game.
No,
You know?
he doesn't, and that shows here. He kind of has this awkward, non-flapping strategy, and he still gets what he wants.
Right.
And it works in real life too, because Frakes was hired for this role despite just being a terrible actor, which we see here. There's so Yuta ultimately acquiesces, and she's like, "Oh, I guess I like to cook Parthis," and Frakes Frakes ad-libs a bit, and he's like, "Oh, Parthis a la Yuta," which was just a strange thing to say, and it was pronounced strangely, and he says it a few times, and it was always an ad-lib, and you can tell because no characters ever respond to that or acknowledge it.
Right.
But, Frakes valued it as his creative contribution to the episode, and if we would have put it on the studio fridge just for everyone to see. But
yeah.
It was not his talent that landed Frakes the role, and I think this is a good example of that.
Yeah, and I don't know. Far be it from us to deny Frakes his little ad libs.
He loves his little ad libs. He loves them as much as he loved doing his little mad libs, which he did every day on the set.
He did do them every day.
I remember.
He would always. He was fascinated with the word poop. He
was. And it really made the ad-libs difficult for him because he didn't know what an adjective was. So, he would say, he'd come by the catering table and he'd say, "Oh, Mitch, give me an adjective." And I'd be like, "Oh, God, what's an adjective? Big." And he'd say, "No, an adjective." So I'd say, "Go?" Thank you, Mitch. And, he'd read it back to me and it would make no sense at all, but he was very amused by it.
He loved it.
He was mad about Mad Libs.
He was. It was some of the most juvenile stuff I've ever heard in my life.
It's you gotta find some levity, lightheartedness on the set, lest you get crushed by the pressure.
I think he had enough levity.
Yeah, certainly in the later years. That's what they call it.
Anyway, is
levity
a kind of cake?
Do you think Frakes was better before or after he got fat?
He was certainly more believable before he got fat.
Believable as what?
As someone who has sex.
Oh, I thought you were going to say as a fat guy, because I would have vehemently disagreed.
I don't know. Fat Frakes is kind of disturbing to me.
Yeah.
If you've been watching the show for a while, I project myself onto Frakes a lot.
Indeed. So is this like a black mirror of your future?
Yeah. I look at Fat Frakes and I'm like, oh no.
I know what you mean because I project myself onto Geordi and I live in constant fear of losing my sight.
And spontaneously becoming black.
Yes. Losing my rights.
Because I'm losing my sight, losing my rights.
Losing my white.
Oh, there we go. That's good.
Wish somebody would tell me I'm white.
So then they go down to the surface of the Gatherer's planet.
Right.
Which they're not sure if they're there, right? Because there's like a few different bases they have.
Yeah, it's a set from a hair metal music video of some sort that they land at.
Yeah. Very, very weird. We were saying off mic, very weird, like Mad Max-ish.
Yeah.
And to compound this, the sound guys actually licensed an unused score from Terminator. Just for the shootout scene, when the gatherers show up and they start firing their little lasers.
Right. Which they make sure to note are not that strong for whatever reason.
They're not that. But yeah, I remember this licensed track was kind of a big deal because the caveat for using it was that Brad Fiedel had to approve the scene it was used in. I guess it was written into his contract when he wrote the music for the original film. But we sat him down and we had him watch the whole scene, and he loved it. He called it a mastercraft in choreography. And funny enough, they actually put that on the back of the original VHS tape release.
It was the strongest accolades we had received to that point.
Yeah, I mean Brad Fiedel, no one bigger than him,
right
at the time.
Right, I remember. I'm pretty in tight with Brad, to be honest. And whenever I see him, I always call him High Fidelity.
And
that's
cute.
Sometimes he smiles.
I didn't know you were that. I didn't know you were that close with him.
Oh yeah. I mean, it all stems back to this. Really, that's how we met, and rub some elbows, grease some wheels, suck some dick. But you make a new friend.
That's Hollywood, baby.
Hey. So the shootout that happens, very, very low octane, and without a word, everybody on the Enterprise crew is privy to this little bit of subterfuge that they pull off. And we have a wonderful moment of the communicators once again knowing exactly when and when not to pick up people's voices. In that,
what the hell?
The plan is to shoot a bit of metal so it vaporizes and creates a lot of, I guess it'd be vapor and not smoke. Yeah, I almost said smoke. Yeah. And Riker shouts, "Oh, Enterprise, beam us up!" But they don't, and they use the vapor as a what is the word I'm looking for? A diversion to
diversion.
Yeah, to get one
diversion / cover.
Right. Worf has a great line here. Your ambush would be more effective if you bathed. And that's, I don't know, I imagine that's how Klingons talk to each other.
It's funny because they're stinky.
They might very well be stinky.
We had a good thank you Data bit right before Riker shot the metal.
Yes. Now what was this? Was this the melting point of the...
Something like that, yeah. Riker asked him about the melting point or something of neuranium.
No way no way you remember the name of that material.
I think it's neuranium. We can look it up if you want.
No, I believe you. It's just I'm amazed.
I only remember the most useless shit. I can't remember the names of the aliens ever, but I do remember the names of the metal.
Yeah, I majored in Star Trek metal.
Trek metal. Space metals. I studied space metals.
Unobtainium.
Precious tritium.
Gold pressed latinum, baby.
There we go. Yeah, that's gonna make me a lot of money one day after they cryo freeze me to the future.
Looking for 4 bars of gold pressed latinum.
It's funny how actually funny those little Data quips are when they're not the entire focus of the scene.
Yes, I agree with that.
Which I guess I don't know if we ever articulated that back in season 1, but I guess that's it. Just they can't be the point of the scene. And if they're not, then they're funny.
Yeah. It's so embarrassing how central they were to the scenes in season 1.
He'd go on for like a full minute.
Right, and then someone would say, "Thank you, Data," and then he'd keep going. Like, "But Captain, is it not this?" And it's like, oh my god.
Remember the scene where he went to go lean on someone or something and he just fell on the ground?
Yes.
That was just peak terrible Trek.
Data's awkward teenage years.
Yeah.
I mean, I would like them if we had taken TNG in the direction of a silent comedy. Silent physical comedy. Data with a little
sure Brent would have liked
Data
that
with a
too.
Charlie Chaplin cane and a Hitler mustache.
Yep. That's exactly how I imagined it too.
So what happens? They get the drop on these guys, and wouldn't you know it, they're just here to talk. So all that violence is diffused instantly. And
instantly. Yeah. We get our first look at Brull, which is
one look too many.
very, very, very close to the word bull. But yeah, Joey Oresco, the guy who plays Brull, actually a really nice guy.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget this. The first day he, came on set for filming, Frakes came up to him. You remember this?
Yes.
He looks him straight in the eye, and he doesn't break eye contact once. Like, he doesn't even blink. And he started doing what would later be described as some kind of a mix between a haka dance and a crab walk. And this went on for too long, several minutes at least. And then he just walked away. And their relationship has been strained ever since.
I don't know if people at home know the haka dance, but it's a loud, aggressive endeavor.
Yeah. I'm not sure. I maybe Frakes felt threatened.
That is how he usually responded to threats.
Right. He would kind of get big and throw his arms up in the air, and start leaning to the left and the right.
Make himself look bigger than he is, just to ward you off.
And that's part of the reason he became Two Cakes Frakes.
To increase his size, right?
Yeah, just to deflect aggressors.
Yeah, at that point in his life, any criticism, aggression just tended to bounce right off of him. Similar to any change that you dropped on his belly.
That was a frequent pastime in between takes.
Well, we'd
always have him get on the table on his back.
Yeah, and you'd drop it, and we'd take bets on how far it landed.
Yeah. We would try, because you'd have to put a little bit of force into it, of course, but sometimes we'd kind of play like beer pong with it too.
Right. And I've drank plenty of beers that have involved some amount of Frakes' belly bacteria.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Frakes really did mellow out in the end.
Yeah, he finally became cool.
Yeah.
But not until season 6 or 7.
Right, your favorite. Maybe that's your favorite. Maybe that's why that's your favorite season.
Good memories. Good Frakes memories. Yeah. I'm into it.
Brull is just comically rude.
Comically rude, and I think the worst performance of the episode.
Really? You hate him that much? I think he's better than Marook, but I'm not going to defend him.
They're both bad. That's certainly true, but the thing is, Brull has more quieter scenes where the awkwardness of his performance comes out more. For instance, later on, he's talking to Wesley Crusher, and he sits down, and he just says in a very stilted manner, "You don't like me," and it's just terrible.
Yeah, like we said at the front of this episode, I feel like there was something off with the direction here, because every guest actor is terrible. I mean, Yuta's okay, but she's supposed to be an emotionless automaton, so it's not really, you can't really compare them.
But everybody else is just really bad, out of their element.
Yeah. And like you said, I mean, even the performances from our usual actors are a little weird.
Yeah, but, I pick on Frakes a lot, but I didn't like his performance here very much.
Yeah, no, it was weird. And that might just be because there was no chemistry. Like, most of the episode is him talking to Yuta, And there was no chemistry there at all. So it was kind of, I don't know. Maybe that's why it didn't work. I'm not sure. But yeah, I mean, Brule, I guess the Gatherers as a whole, they're just so like they're like Flanderized versions of themselves already. And I don't believe, I can't suspend my disbelief enough to believe that these people exist in this world. Like they're too over the top.
I agree. They're just very one note too.
Mm-hmm.
It's one note and it's pronounced extremely strongly.
Yeah. Definitely.
It's like,
and so
this guy died. Let's
see...
just take all his possessions because that's what we do.
Right. You never. There's nothing deeper than that about them, which is incredibly boring when the majority of the episode is sitting around talking to them.
Right. And how are we supposed to sympathize with it at all when they're doing these negotiations and Marook is going on about how savage they are, and they are savage.
Right.
There's absolutely no decorum there. So I don't know. It's a very strange way to present it. So unsympathetic.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what these guys should be, right? They're ousted from their world due to these wars. They're committing crimes to get by. They
definitely.
They live by their own code of ethics because that's all they got, and they're finally offered a chance at reconstruction, even if they're not quite compatible. They want to make it work. But it's like, no, they're all just basically villains.
Basically, yeah. This could have been a larger kind of moral examination of these characters and this kind of situation as a whole, because this obviously that is what happens when people get driven out of their homeland. They turn to crime. That's not uncommon. And so it's like, how do we judge them for the crimes they've committed up to this point, when really it was something that could have been solved by kind of reaching out and creating some kind of mutual contract or something. But no, it just sucks. Utah kills that old guy.
That old guy is one of many to just have very awkward face makeup.
Yeah. What is up? Why do they have like acne on their faces?
I think it's just the Gatherers, so it's got to be like some disease of not living in a proper civilization. But I don't really get what makes the Acamarians Acamarian instead of just normal humans.
Mm-hmm. Because they have blue stuff on their face.
This is makeup. I assume it's just makeup. Well, maybe it's genetic blue stuff. I don't know. But I think
it's genetic.
This is the
blue stuff.
This is the closest that aliens have been to just humans since those Africans.
Yeah. And in fact, this is even closer.
Yeah. God. So, Marook comes down to the planet, and they do negotiations, ostensibly.
But not before the Gatherers throw themselves all over each other and splash beer on their faces and giggle.
Very, very heterosexual playing. And then Brule roasts Marook. It's right to her face. She's like, "Oh, these wars been over for 100 years." It's like, "Oh, you were there, you old bitch." And like, yeah, Brule, get her.
Hell yeah. Oh, I want to mention before I forget. This episode had a few different titles originally, right?
Yeah,
there was going to be there. Like, of course, there's going to be Who Gathers the Gatherers.
Right. We are always trying to make that work at the time. Another one, Commander Riker Sticks His Dick in Crazy, which was more of a working title. I'm not sure how seriously it was considered, but it was more descript than most of what we got.
it actually dealt with the meat of this episode. I was worried that Commander Riker was, well, he doesn't get it in, but he almost does.
Right.
It's not for lack of trying. She was about to give it up.
Right.
So I would say that's a win for him. I was worried he would not get her into his room.
He would be spurned.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be quite the blow to your ego.
Yeah, I'm always projecting.
Right.
So,
a loss for Riker is a loss for you.
Yeah, absolutely. So they beam everyone back onto the Enterprise, right? And this is where Utah finally makes her Parthas a la Utah.
Right. In 10 forward.
In 10 forward, and she brings this plate. I don't think this needs to be said, but no one on the crew actually thought this tasted very good, despite how it was presented in the episode.
No.
She brings this plate of ambiguous green and red vegetables.
Yeah.
Or something.
I think in actuality what it was just, lettuce and cherry tomatoes sprayed with, something to give it more of a sheen on camera. But it really just left it with a bit of a funk. And
it was very weird looking.
Yes.
And we of course have to talk about the meaningful look exchanged between Riker and Troy here.
I don't know what is going on, if this is a type of, Cucklian relationship they got going on here.
So this is one of the things that drives me up the wall about Trek, or this show in particular, is that one episode it's only for like the convenience of plot. One episode they'll be together or something, and the next episode they're like, oh, we're just friends.
And not only will they be not together, but they'll be so comfortable not being together that they just, celebrate each other's fucking of other people.
Yeah. Riker like takes the guy's dick and inserts it into Troy himself. It's fucking. It's so bizarre.
It's the first bad move I've seen you make, Rel. You should know. I'll put the condom on myself.
Oh man, that was funnier because you couldn't get it out without laughing. That was. He puts it on with his mouth.
Just sits there like counting the rhythm as it pounds into her.
Yeah, we need to rewrite that episode as a cock episode.
But it's a unique genre. It's the enthusiastic cuck. It's not like the devastation, humiliation cuck. It's it's the full supportive.
He joins in licking the guy's asshole kind of thing.
That's the it's the I'm not gonna get too crass in the Readier Room, but that's the eating out the cream pie as it goes.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Which, Frakes did a lot of eating cream pies.
That he did in my beloved season 7.
Yeah, that's right.
It was all about the Frakes cream pie.
That's what we called it.
It was in the vein of the Drake's coffee cake. Frakes cream pie.
The Frakes cream pie. Oh boy. Bad acting aside, I like the idea of that little scene with Wesley and Brule.
Yeah, I mean, that was the attempt at giving these guys more dimensions than just
yeah. I guess that's why I said I liked it in my notes. And I guess we've already gone over this. It didn't work.
No,
but I appreciate the sentiment.
I think with a better performance and a slightly better script, it would have worked. But
yeah, I think so too.
Just came off as awkward.
Math is dumb. Brule hate math.
I have 2 boys. They can't do math. You don't like me.
He really does talk like a complete simpleton.
I mean, I don't know why they chose to write the script that way.
Yeah, that's weird.
Presumably,
I mean, if
yeah,
even if you're out pillaging people and you have no real home or well crafted society, if you're the leader of somewhere, I'd imagine you're probably pretty smart.
I mean, this is still a race that is spacefaring. They have
Right.
colonies on other planets, given by the fact that they have to go to a spaceship to commune with what's his face, the fat leader.
Sure.
They should have communicative ability beyond just
definitely
caveman speak.
Yeah, screaming and stating basic facts about yourself.
Right. There was another one. He walks into the bridge and he sees Wesley and he's like, "This does not inspire my confidence." And
oh yeah, that was really bad.
Which is that's not even like the line that was bad. You could, that's something people would say.
Yeah, sure.
But the delivery was terrible.
Yeah. This does not inspire my confidence.
I think even that had too much emotion behind it. This is just flat and loud.
Yeah. How did you feel about the bit where he walks up to the bar at 10 forward and just takes the guy's drink?
I really liked the physical acting by the bartender.
He just shrugs.
He shrugs. He kind of like gestures at that guy with like a, and then he's like, he points to the thing. "I'll get you another one." It was a whole story told in 5 gestures.
That was good, and I appreciated it too.
I want to point out, while we're on the subject, I guess, the 10 forward cups that premiered in this episode.
Yes.
Yeah. So the astute viewer will have noticed they're different. Now we have the convex glass blown bottoms on the cups, and they also have those like vectoral ridged lip buffers. We were talking about this, on the crew for months, weeks before we got them, and months afterwards. It was just an insane way to increase the future vibe that the show had in a very barely noticeable economic way. But it's one of those things that, the viewer probably is not going to be like, "Oh my god, look at the cups," but their subconscious inside, they definitely noticed like, "Oh, this is the future. It's futuristic." It's this is one of those things that I'm most proud of, I think, and it really made Trek what it is.
Yeah. Someone got a promotion for that.
Yeah,
I think I took a few of those home myself, actually.
Yeah, we still have them in the cupboard.
Yeah.
Yeah, whenever we have guests, we bring out the cups like, "Whoa, is it the year 3000?" And I'm like,
Yeah, it really, really transports you to the future.
Right. Perhaps too much. Star Trek's only in the year 2400, but maybe somebody out there said, "Wait, those cups are circa the year 3000. This doesn't work."
Right. Yeah, we were never really great at historical accuracy.
Right. Future historical accuracy at that.
Yeah, right. So, but, no one's going to know for the next several thousand years.
Yeah. And at that point, we'll pay the piper. We'll be fine.
Yeah. So we're getting to the meat of the episode here.
Finally.
Which, of course, is Utah walking into Riker's room and us being treated to this 5-minute long scene of close-ups of them
throwing yourself at
each other. Yeah,
in a very non emotional way.
Well, she offers. She's gonna give it up for him.
If I recall,
we find out later that I guess it's a good thing they didn't start that because the alarm just immediately goes off. But
would have been awkward, to be sure.
Yeah.
Now I think there's a line that says Marook sent her to go to Riker.
Yeah. That's right.
Which raises several questions. Was the idea that they were going to curry favor with the Federation by having Utah sleep with Riker? Because Marook says go to Riker. Utah says, "Okay, I'm here to be your sexual servant." right? She's not doing this for her own benefit or for any emotion. So it's very much implied that she's under direction to go have sex with Riker.
Maybe, but I took it as like, I took it as like it was half her own volition that she did this.
It's possible.
I don't know. It's so, maybe is it just like clumsily written here? I don't know. Or am I stupid?
I mean, yes, but maybe...
let's parse this for a minute. So
let's,
she comes
let's
in.
parse this.
Let's parse.
Go to that scene in the script. See what
okay.
See what she says.
What's the word I can look for here?
This is the scene where Riker says he's gonna eat pussy a la Utah.
Equals. I'll search equals.
While you're finding that, let me just throw in, now that you mentioned it, that insisting that he wants his lovers to be his equal was one of the hardest line reads that Frakes ever had to do.
Mm-hmm.
Just could not get that out without just looking like he's in fury.
Yeah, he was very morally opposed to that line. Very morally opposed to the scene even, but he got over it eventually.
Yeah.
Okay. No, this isn't it either. Welcome to the Readier Room. What the hell?
Look for red alert
here it is.
and scroll up.
Here it is.
Okay.
I got it. This is actually a shorter scene in terms of dialogue than I thought it was. Yuta comes in. I'm disturbing you, Riker. Not at all. Yuta, as the Sovereign has no further need for my services this evening, she suggested I might spend some time with you.
Okay.
What a charming suggestion. She appreciates the affection you've shown me. Was I that obvious? Yes. And then here's a great line. Well, I've already dined. Maybe you know a good Akamarian dessert recipe. And then he kisses her. Do you want me to read this entire scene?
I mean, yes, but I don't think that's the best way to spend our time on the show. You can read it to me after as part of our Valentine's Day.
We'll role play it.
So yeah,
it's Riker who has who kind of spurgs out about this because he kisses her. And she says, "Does that not please you? Tell me what you want, William. I will do anything you wish." And he's like, "Wait a minute."
Equals. I said equals.
Yeah. It's like, well, no, he's concerned that she's not really doing this of her own volition, but I mean, who cares?
Well, I mean, Riker
Right?
cares. He wants his mates to be equals.
I don't know. It's just something about, I don't know.
I mean, if that's the case,
There's such a fine line here.
It would have been a red flag when she's like, "Yeah, my boss told me to show up." I guess I'm here to fuck.
She says, "I do not feel pleasure or passion. I haven't been able to for a long time." And meanwhile, I think 3 or 4 times she tries to separate herself from Riker and he keeps grabbing her. Which, I don't know, my personal opinion. You can do that once in a scene, and it's impactful.
And then it starts to get rapey.
Where no, it's not rapey. It's just after every line when she's trying to get away and he pulls her back. It's just not. It's just like why do we keep doing this? It's not at all impactful.
Is that in the script?
No.
Okay.
No, that was not in the script. So the scene could have gone a lot differently.
Maybe she just really wanted to get away from Frakes.
No, listen, yeah, maybe. Here's how this scene ends. I don't know. Riker says, "I don't know who did this to you or why, but it can change." And Yuta says, "I wish it could tonight most of all." Huh?
Is this a I'm gonna fix her with my penis moment?
So but that's the thing. It's like she's definitely doing it like of her own volition. Then, if she wants it to quote change,
I guess
just do it. Just do it. Who cares? I don't know.
Well, they did get interrupted.
Yeah, the red alert goes up. Here's the question: what would you do? Hello, I'm John Quinones. This is what would you do?
Who am I in this situation?
You're Frakes, and unless you want to be Utah,
I'm good. I would rather be
and-
the Frakes than have the Frakes inside me.
be the Fraker rather than the Frakey. So you're in bed, you're going at it, you're in the throes of passion. The red alert goes off. What do you do?
I think I'd have the presence of mind to finish before heading out. Because I know I'm not going to be any good otherwise.
Yeah, exactly. You're gonna have blue balls. You'll be distracted.
Now, imagine this. The spoiler for the end of this episode, Frakes has to shoot Yuta. If he's still, blue-balled and desperately looking to come, does he have the willpower to take the shot?
Right. Because I don't think I would. I'd be like, I got to at least finish in you once.
Exactly. And I might add, this was a very low urgency red alert. They go to the bridge and Picard's just kind of standing there. The ship jostles a little bit.
Yeah, I don't think he would have been missed.
No, not at all. Now,
so
I'm desperate for a scene where Riker and whatever woman of the episode walks onto the bridge and their hair is disheveled, their outfit isn't really done right.
We certainly needed more sex jokes.
Yes, I think we had 0.
Yes, I mean, even a situation like this where it's it's red alert, it's where's Riker? And computer, where's Commander Riker? And it's Mr. Riker is in his quarters with whatever girl.
Right. And Worf kind of gives a knowing look to Data or Wesley or whatever.
Yeah, just lean into that a little bit. Give us something.
Some fucking humanity.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so their time is cut short. And then the other meat of the episode starts, unfortunately, which is these stupid deliberations on this gatherer ship.
I think when this begins, there's still 20 or 15 minutes left in the episode.
Yeah.
I recall it just taking so long.
Yeah. And there's really not much to say about it. It sucked. We already kind of talked about it.
Yeah, I mean, there's that thing of the same skit playing out several times where Marook starts shouting. Picard asks a very obvious question, the same question. And she's like, I didn't think about that.
How insightful.
Very persuasive, Captain.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the crew of the Enterprise finally figures out that Utah is immortal because they found her wearing a red hood or something 50 years ago.
I really enjoy the computer's ability to what's the word I'm looking for? To extrapolate photographs.
I didn't pick up on that. What did it say?
Well, Data says very plainly, the computer can isolate that image and extrapolate the rest of the face. Because she's standing behind somebody.
Crime drama. Right. Yeah. It got rid of the person in front of her.
Yeah. It's
like a prank.
It had the left eye, and that's it. Not even the hair or the forehead. And it extrapolated the rest of the face exactly to look like Utah. Which, yeah, it's kind of as if somebody's framing her.
Yeah. Imagine if it was a mistake. Riker just shows up on the bridge and shoots her for no reason.
I mean, they all just believed him at his word, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
That might have been revenge for not having sex with him.
Yeah. I mean, funny enough, her actress, Lisa Wilcox. She was in what, Nightmare, or was it Friday the 13th? She was in one of those stupid sequels. I always get them mixed up.
Friday the 14th?
Maybe Friday the 15th. Ocean's 11.
Saturday the 15th?
Ocean's the 15th.
I think she was in the new female version of Friday the 13th.
Ah, yes. Where there's a female killer.
Right.
How brave.
Right. Still called Jason.
She's trans.
Trans man. It's like a 5'2" Jason.
Like a graft of skin is missing from his arm.
He's got a binder, like a decrepit binder, because he's dead or whatever.
Yeah. Oh, that's going on my list of treatments to write. Trans Friday the 13th. But Lisa wasn't really big on Frakes, if you remember.
No, not at all.
He kind of freaked her out, I think. Or I don't know, maybe he just wasn't her type. She did have like it seemed like a pretty good friendship with LeVar and Michael for some reason.
I don't know why.
And I'm not really sure why.
Yeah,
I remember one day I was talking to her, just kind of shooting the shit around breakfast time, and she was saying how the day before she had done a spit roast with them. And I think we've done a few spit roasts in our time, and it takes a long time to get that pig like perfect, like hours, dozens of hours even.
It's always the central point of the luau.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Which we don't really get to do anymore because someone always complains about the cultural appropriation.
Right.
Unfortunately, we have all of those torches in the shed that we bought in advance.
Right.
For our future annual luau's.
I remember they came back in vogue for like a week.
Yeah,
you remember that, but
yeah. That was interesting.
We couldn't really capitalize on it.
No. In fact, I think it might be even worse now. A white supremacist luau party.
That's the name of our other podcast.
I like it. I like that other podcast that we do.
At some point, I don't know when he says this, so this is removed from context, but it's such a line that I need to point it out. Frakes says to Utah, "You're an excellent chef, but you speak in riddles."
Yes.
And maybe that line just is self-evident why it's ridiculous, but it's just a non sequitur. Like the first and second half of that sentence do not connect.
Yeah. It's a non sequitur. It is also false. And I don't even mean literally, but nothing that Utah says could be misconstrued as vague at all. She's very matter of fact.
Right.
Apparently to Riker it's a riddle when you don't want to drop your panties immediately.
I take my job very seriously. I'm not here to fuck you. Speaking in riddles.
What could she mean by this? What does she want me to do?
It's a very strange way to say yes.
Oh, man. That's great.
Riker, I don't consent. There you go again with your riddles.
That would have God, just make the episode all that. Riker tries to chase down this chick who just doesn't want to have sex with him.
Anything else
like
happen?
That should be a bottle episode.
Yeah, just Riker.
Like, that's the A plot, and he's like running around the ship and like getting everyone involved in his quest to have sex with this woman who doesn't like him.
I like it.
God, that would be perfect. It's like Data's Day, you know?
Yes, I suppose it is like Data's day, where Data really was chasing around that little boy to fuck.
No. I don't mean Data's day. The other Data episode where
where he had a
where
girlfriend.
Yeah.
That actually no,
Yeah.
I think that was Data's day. I think I was wrong.
That is Data's day, right? Okay.
Yeah. All right. Good call. Good call.
Okay. Did anything else happen? Not really.
There's great physical acting at the end of the episode where Frakes is, he's shooting, he's stunning what's her face, Utah, as she's going to kill that guy.
Yeah.
He keeps hitting her with the stun phaser, but when she goes in for the final lunge, she does this comical wind up to get in there.
yeah.
And then just vanishes into nothing.
Tunes.
Yes.
Yeah. Dude, I don't know if this was just me, but I felt like the phaser was conveniently clumsy here. Haven't they stunned people and knocked them unconscious before?
Yeah. I don't know why you couldn't just have done an intense stun more than once.
Yeah. Yeah, he goes from like light shock to killing her immediately.
Don't do this.
So that was stupid. Because he's obviously torn up about it afterward.
Right.
So again, just really convenient. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. We go back to the Enterprise, and there's some more nice little background acting there too, where that guy comes up to Picard with the data pad. Riker sitting at the bar.
Yes.
I like little things like that.
Yeah,
they're
cool.
kind of rare.
They are. It's because it takes effort.
And Picard walks up to Riker and says they're going to dock at Starbase 343, which is a little-known reference to the Halo series, which
we're all big fans of.
Was actually a book. It was actually a book before it was the multimedia giant it is today.
Right. But we're all big fans of sci-fi.
Yeah.
SF, if you will.
SF, indeed. The hell else happened? That's it. Yeah, Picard's like, you should take a leave, shore leave.
And Riker says, hell
and
no.
Riker pouts. He's like, oh, I'll tell the crew.
Cut the credits.
Mm-hmm. I feel like I've lost brain cells talking about this episode.
Yeah, it's not a good episode. I don't like it. It's better than...
This was excruciating.
It's better than, like, the bad season 1 and 2 fare, but it's still not good.
Yeah, especially coming off the high that the first handful of season 3 episodes gave us.
Yeah.
This was very much unwelcome.
This was a run of 2 bad episodes. This and the negotiation one.
I forgot about that.
So
and now you made me remember.
This does not inspire my confidence.
How many saucer seps out of 5 would you give this episode?
Oh god, this is 1.5 saucer seps, maybe 2. How about you?
Yeah, I'd probably give it 2. I liked Utah.
I know you did.
She was cute.
Yeah. Her stupid...
one of the more attractive women.
Her stupid hairstyle notwithstanding.
No, I didn't mind her hairstyle. What was wrong with her hairstyle?
You look dumb. Whatever.
Wow, how descriptive. It was dumb.
Look, we got our Valentine's Day plans to get to. I don't have time to go into Utah's hairstyle.
Why didn't you like it? It was bad.
It's bad, okay?
I guess it is. Like, it's a little bit silly, but I like it.
Nah, the sides of it, how they're like put up.
They kind of poof out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So sometimes it looks okay. Sometimes it looks like disheveled.
Yeah. It was not always set correctly. I'll say that.
Yeah. I guess that's. I can agree with that. All right, so here's my question for you.
Okay.
The date this episode aired, in a relative sense, is very special.
Okay.
Why is that?
Well, it's a relative sense, so is it like Jean's mother's birthday? Is that what you're talking about?
Not quite. A little more general than that.
Okay.
Nothing to do with the Castor crew.
I was gonna say, ask if this aired on my birthday, but I guess that's not it. The date this episode aired, was it Martin Luther King Day?
No.
Arbor Day?
No. It wasn't a holiday. It wasn't a holiday per se. But this episode relative to the dates that the other episodes aired.
Oh, did this air on a Wednesday?
What would be special about that?
Well, the other episodes aired on like Tuesday.
Oh, I guess that's a good guess. No, this was the last episode of the 1980s.
Oh, that is interesting.
Yeah, which I wouldn't really even think about because it aired in November, but I guess it was the end of November, so you have the whole.
Yeah, and a lot of times our seasons are kind of broken up in that sense.
But imagine being left with this. As an audience.
Do you even come back at that point?
Right. What is the next episode?
Don't spoil it. I never look at the title nor the description of an episode when I watch it for our purposes. I always just start it up.
That's probably a good idea.
It certainly cuts down on the dread that some weeks would have.
Yeah. I hate when Netflix basically spoils the plot to an episode.
I've found that, at least with Deep Space Nine, a lot of the descriptions are very, very vague. Like, it would be, for TNG, it would be something like, the crew warps to a space station where 2 people are injured. It's like, yeah, that technically happens, but has nothing to do with the overarching plot.
Yeah. But yeah, and that's the thing. It's like that's what's interesting about Trek is seeing where the episode goes because it always ends up, a different place than it started. And it's like I don't want to read these synopses,
right? Even
like by accident, Sometimes you just read them by accident.
Yeah, that's how I felt about Mein Kampf.
You read the whole thing by accident?
Yeah,
that's a shame.
I thought it was like a spec script, for production.
And it would go on to influence your political beliefs for the rest of your life.
Exactly. Now, I only read it like a few weeks ago, but certainly from here on out, it's all.
It's what we call a happy accident.
Yes, a hapcident.
We have Deja Q coming up in a few episodes.
I'm excited. I like Q. You like
Q.
I like Q, and I like you. Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.
That's going to be it. We're going to wish not just ourselves, but everybody out there a happy V-Day. Hope anybody out there still holds their V card so they can get special discounts on V-Day at participating retailers. Speaking of participating retailers, the Readier Room is sponsored by Denny's, home of the Grand Slam, and Moons Over My Hammy, and also Pep Boys, home of the 3-minute oil change. Go there. Not only can you name drop us for a little bit of a discount, but again, if you bring your V card, they will also give you 5% off, whatever your purchase is. We'll see you next week on a much less festive day, but a readier day all the same. So until then, everybody, please stay ready.
The troublesome little man-child.
I stand before you defrocked, condemned to be a member of this lowest of species.
Thank you, Ensign. Engage.
Do you consider yourself superior to us?
Should have told him to mind his own damn business.
But I stroked the beard thusly. Do I not appear more intellectual?
probe.
Have you never dreamed of climbing inside the bottle?